record my screen as well, which may slow me down just a little bit. There we go. So now I have two recordings going on just for myself. So this is guaranteed that you'll be able to access this in the future. If I ever say anything that I missed that, you don't have to take super explicit notes to what I'm saying, because you can go back and watch the video. That's guaranteed. I want to know your goals in this project. I want to know what you're here for. Shoot me a message in Slack. That's the best way to do it. Because we have 84 people, 85 people in this Google Zoom, we can't have a bunch of dialogue going back and forth. That's why I appreciate you being muted. And then send me a message in Slack on what your goals are. I'm going to tell you my goal for you. My number one goal for you is that you take away something valuable from this course. You should learn. There's so many things to take away. You might learn a new way of learning things. You might learn that tech isn't for you, or you might learn that tech is totally for you and this is your thing. Or you might say, well, I like this part of it, but not this part of it. It's a good free introduction to maybe change your life. For me, this was a life-changing experience when I learned coding. I was an audio engineer. And then I decided I'd always been kind of messing around with computers and decided to pursue coding more fully, and it's changed my life. I really enjoy it. Like I said, I enjoy teaching and coding. That's what I enjoy. So the first main goal that you're going to walk away with, hopefully, is a competence in web development. Web development jobs are just plenty right now. I was just on the job market. I know what it's like. There's a ton of jobs in web development. Especially the JavaScript language. That's what we're going to be primarily focused on after we learn HTML and CSS. Those words might sound foreign to you, but you'll get the hang of them. It'll all come together. There's no math in web development, and I say that up front because a lot of folks think that programming, you have to be super smart and know a bunch of math, computer science stuff, and you don't. It's really like Legos. It is, if you enjoy building with Legos, that's what the job is. You're constructing, you're putting things together, and you're making something cool. There's two parts to programming. There's the language and there's the application of it. The application of it is the snapping together of Legos. That's really fun. But you do have to know the building blocks. Just like with language and writing, you have to know your ABCs. You have to know phonics. You have to know uppercase and lowercase letters. You have to know punctuation. You have to know sight words, some words that break the rules of phonics. You have to memorize all these things, and it's a lot when you really start to think about it. My son is 2, and we're starting to introduce him to these concepts, and when you really start to think about it, there's a lot. So that's the stuff that I have to introduce to you first before we can do the fun stuff. I still want to introduce this stuff in a fun way, but I gotta be honest with you in that you have to learn the phonics first. You have to learn HTML, CSS, and these are just rules that you memorize. You don't totally have to memorize them, to be honest. You can know how that you did it at one time and then look it up later. The documentation for programming is great. But that's really what it is. And I've heard some people say, well, will I take this 3-week course and will I be able to get a job as a programmer after taking this 3-week course? And the answer, flat out, probably not, right? Like, no. It's like learning your ABCs and then saying, will I be able to write for the New York Times? No, you just know your ABCs. But you might find that you're passionate about writing. You might find you're passionate about programming. And you might dig deeper into it. And then after a couple months, I've known people after 3 months that have gotten very good jobs. Maybe you attend a boot camp to accelerate your learning. Maybe you go to school for it. Maybe you reach out to a mentor, find a tutor, whatever it is. But there are people that in as short a time as 3 months, they can write for the New York Times in that example. That's a metaphor. So it's possible that this is a good starting point for you, and you say, this is something I'm passionate about. But at the same time, I want you to, this will be a course about discovering your interests. And you don't have to be a hardcore programmer after this course. You can find that there are other jobs in tech that aren't really programming, But if you have the fundamentals down and you can speak well to them, you'll be able to get these jobs in the tech industry that are still available. I mean, like I said, I was just on the market. I was just looking at these jobs just yesterday. These jobs are available. For example, in marketing, if you know the fundamentals of tech, you can get a job in marketing if that's your passion. Writing, project management, product design. I want to show you, this is my last job. Like the day-to-day of my last job was making these drawings on a piece of paper and getting paid good money to do that. But it's because I knew coding and I could speak to it. And so that drawing that you saw is called a wireframe. And I would make these wireframes that other developers, team members would work on it. And that's how we would release our products. So that's what you need. You need the fundamentals. You may not get a job as a programmer. You may not want a job as a programmer. You may want to draw drawings on a piece of paper, but that's what it takes. You have to know a little bit of the fundamentals to be able to do that. You also might want to build your own app idea. You might not want a job in the tech industry. You might want to create your own job. Well, this is the first step. So if you want to save the world, the first step to saving the world is knowing how this stuff works. And so that's what we're about. You're going to learn a little bit about the first steps to doing that. That's what actually got me into it, is that I could apply this stuff and program my own app. Thought it was very cool. Another goal I have for you for this course is to learn how to learn. We will be. It's going to be different, at least than how I was taught and how my peers have been taught, and maybe how you've been taught. So a lot of this course, the videos and the articles that you read, they're going to be about learning how to learn. And we're going to learn some memorization techniques. We're going to learn some ways to make learning engaging. I'm going to do a lot of hands-on exercises, project-based work, stuff that's engaging and that feels good, and it'll get you working and working with code immediately. That's what I think makes it fun. To be honest, the job of programming, whatever, like I said, if you go into another sector like design or marketing or whatever, in the tech field and with programming in particular, the job is mostly learning. I learn new frameworks, new technologies every couple months, and I have to teach myself these things. I have to teach myself these things by reading documents online, watching tutorials online. My job expects me to stay up to date because that's the nature of the tech industry. We have to be up to date with technology. So I have to be able to learn and apply new skills all the time. So hopefully teaching you the skills of how to learn is also going to be beneficial for teaching you, programming in general and this whole thing we're doing. All right. I get a little bit distracted because I keep seeing chat messages pop up in my right-hand view. I'm going to try and ignore those in the right-hand view and keep moving on. And like I said, I'll post this video in Slack if you didn't see anything. If you missed all of this, it's totally fine. I also want to say that I'll be your mentor in Las Vegas. I am available to you always from here on out. You can message me in Slack, and that's the number one way to reach me. So message me in Slack. Hit me up. I am the organizer of Las Vegas developers. We have over 3,400 members, and I respond to every Slack message and every email. So hands down, that's the way to do it. You'll always be able to reach out to me if you have any questions about the industry, if you have questions about where you should go, if you have questions about getting set up, anything. Slack is the way to do it. You've got me 3 hours a day blocked off where that's all I'm doing is answering your questions on Slack. I do want to talk about what your day-to-day is going to look like. And I probably got about 5 more minutes here. So, but your day-to-day is going to be, we're going to be using the Free Code Camp curriculum. Now, if you've been on the Free Code Camp website, there are thousands of hours of exercises and challenges to do. The work I've put into it has been to funnel that into a curriculum that you'll need for the job market today. That is the shortest path. You don't need to do thousands of hours of stuff. You need to do these things, but the skills do stack. So you don't ever want to skip a challenge and whatever, because the way I've structured it is that the skills build on each other. What it looks like for you is that you're going to be on the Free Code Camp website. You're going to read the stuff on the left-hand side. You're going to understand the concepts. It's often very simple, like one thing at a time, because like I said, it's all going to stack. And then you're going to do a challenge. And then you can hit a button called Run Tests, and you can see if your answer was the correct answer to the challenge. And if it is, great. Your next step is to go over into a software called, an application called Glitch. And you're going to go into Glitch, and you're going to apply that in Glitch. You're going to start building your first web page in some software called Glitch. After this video, I'm going to post a tutorial on how to get signed up with Free Code Camp and Glitch. You don't have to, we're not going to do that right now. I've got a video already made up. I'm going to post that in Slack. So the goal for you will be to read, apply, and then put it into your own project. And when you do your own project in Glitch, it's got to be something that you're interested in. Your first web page is going to be something that you're interested in. It's especially good if it's very niche, meaning something very specific. Don't just pick like basketball. It's far better to pick a basketball team, but it's even far better to pick a basketball player in particular. And then you could even focus and say, okay, how this player's childhood or this player's philanthropy efforts. So that's as niche as you really want to go. Very niche when you're building your own web page, because you'll find out, and that's the another key point is that you want something that you don't know all the answers to. So if you're like an expert in poker, don't do poker, but maybe do a poker player that you don't know a lot about and you want to know more about. I'm very interested in, Phil Ivey. He's a famous poker player, so maybe you do that. Something that will keep you interested through the course as you're building your own web page. That's the goal of it. So, and the other thing I have to say about your first web page on Glitch is that it will and should be terrible. It should look funny. It should look like something out of the 90s where it's like, blinking colors and, underlined text for no reason. But that's because you're learning all these things. It's your playground. It's your first playground. It's not something that I want to look professional. If it looks professional, you're doing it wrong. It should look hacky. It should look like a mess. And it is good news. So that's it. And then when you're done with the challenges that we have set up for the day, you will do your homework. And I'm going to post the homework and I'm going to post the challenges. Everything will be in the resources channel that you can follow along. So your homework every day is to watch 1/2 hour of videos and to read one article. It's not a lot. You can squeeze in a 1/2 hour of videos. We have the time right now. They're very interesting videos. I've spent a lot of time picking them out. About half the videos are on learning how to learn, which I said is a very important skill in this field. And then the other half are like day in the life of an engineer, or maybe questions that engineers have or that we face on a frequent basis. So that's your homework. And then read one article. The articles are very valuable. Again, mostly about learning. Just to see, is this something that I'm interested in? This is the question you have to ask yourself. Is this something I want to pursue? And hopefully the answer is yes. I love it. I would love it if more people in Las Vegas were into coding and technology as much as I am. So hopefully I can inspire that spark. Like I said, I'm here to answer any questions and to be that mentor through the process. What I'd like to do right now, closing us out, is to share my screen and talk about Slack, and then post today's video in Slack for you. So I'm going to present now, and I'm going to look at Slack. Okay. And I'll just call on Dylan again. Dylan, you've been very helpful. Can you unmute yourself and tell me that you can see my screen?
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Great. Um, okay. So some people weren't able to join this morning, and that's fine. Like I said, I'm going to post the video. And it's that. Where's that video going to go? Well, that's going to go in this channel called resources. In fact, I've actually made a thing called placeholder. That's where this video that I'm recording right now is going to go. I want to explain a little bit more about Slack. You can download Slack and use the app. Let me just see if I can find that link and maybe post that. I think I posted it in the how to customize Slack, but Slack download. Yeah, so if you go to slack.com/downloads, that will take you to where you need to go to download Slack. And just to show you what I'm talking about, I'm just going to post in general. That's if you want to download it. Now, I like the downloaded version of Slack, but some of y'all have devices that you cannot download something. That's fine. This works perfectly fine in the web browser. But I use the downloaded version because the notification center is very nice. I don't miss notifications. And, like I said, I've got a couple companies on the left-hand side that I have to manage. Another channel I want to talk about is portfolios. So what you see here is some folks have already kind of gotten the gist of what we're doing. They're posting a link to your free CodeCamp portfolio page. I'm going to post a tutorial inside of resources right here on how to get set up with free CodeCamp. Once you get set up with free CodeCamp, inside portfolios, do like these folks are doing, and just give a link to your portfolio page. And that's just so I can help you out and see where you get stuck or whatever. If you're like, hey, I'm stuck on this problem, I can just go there really quickly. The next thing is, like I said, we'll be creating our own web pages in Glitch. What you should do then is, and this isn't like a great way of doing this, but this is the best way I've found, is just go to edit message, and then right underneath it, put your Glitch, page, whatever it is. So glitch.com. Let me show you real quick. I'll show you what that looks like. So I have this web page. That didn't work. There we go. So then I hit Save Changes. So I edited my thing and I hit Save Changes, and I just added my first web page. You'll notice this has a weird URL. This is called a URL. That's generated by Glitch. So Glitch is generating that for me, which is great, which means I can share it with anyone, and that means you can click on it and see that. And again, this is going to be your first ugly web page. I think what Mario said yesterday is really important, that you're only in competition with yourself. No one is judging you. There's no competition between people. Oh, I've made mine look this way. It's like you need to walk away with skills that you know, because I tell you what, there are more than enough jobs in this industry where it's not a competition. I mean, like I said, I'm the organizer for Las Vegas developers. I get more job openings than I have applicants, basically. So you're in competition with yourself to see how far you can go and how you can accelerate your learning. So we're going to post these things here. Just edit your thing. And again, I'm going to post a tutorial inside of resources in about 10 minutes that shows how to get signed up with these applications. We have our random channel, which is perfect for these funny photos that you want to share. That's what it's for. That's it. General is for general organization, saying hello, whatever you want to say, it's okay in general. It's got to kind of be related to the course and all this stuff that we're talking about. The really random stuff belongs in random. Um, and I explained resources, everything will go in there. And I explained portfolios. I do want to say that if you haven't messaged me yet, like I said, I want to know your goals for the course. So message me, and the way you do that is you just click on my name if I'm in your left-hand side, and you can start saying something like, "Hi, Mike." There you go. There's a message to me. Or if I'm not in your left-hand side, you can hit a plus sign, and you can just search for Mike Zetlow. That's me. Click on that, and you're taken to this, and you can say, "Hi, Mike," again. All right. So that's how you message me in Slack. You hit the plus sign here to find me, or if I'm already there on the left-hand side. Another thing you can do is you can right-click and hit Star Conversation. You would probably want to do that with me, and then it would say it would move me to starred up here. And that way you can always reach out to me just by finding me in the left-hand side. So that's a handy feature. I don't know if that's available in the web-based version, but if it is, great. Hello, Lupe. All right. I think that's it for Slack. Oh, I will say something. One more thing about Slack is that if I post something and you agree with it, one thing we can do is use these emojis to give thumbs up and that sort of thing. And this will just instead of a bunch of okays and thumbs ups and good mornings and stuff like that, you can just add it to that, or you can add your own by clicking this little happy face here and then saying, thinking about this, or whatever emojis you want. You can just add them to that. And that's a good way, instead of, cluttering up the channel with these other emojis. I think these other emojis are great. I'm not trying to knock them. Yeah, Ken. So I'm not trying to knock that. I'm just trying to make it easier for folks to, if they say, "Where's the link?" So they don't have to scroll up to find the link, or something like that. We can clean up the channel a little bit by using emojis. And so here's Ken K. If I want to give him a thumbs up on his thumbs up, I click the little smiley face. So I'm hovering over with my mouse, and I think if you're on a mobile device, there's a little icon, and basically I can just click thumb, and now I've given him a thumbs up, and it's not gonna, so anyone else that wants to give it a thumbs up, they can just click it. Yep, perfect. There we go. And we can all just click the thumbs up instead of cluttering up the channel. So that is it for today. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to post the video in Slack right now for you. Finding it. Let's see, my videos. Here we go. This is signing up with Slack, Coursera, Free Code Camp, and Glitch. Let's do that. Sorry, YouTube is kind of being weird. Okay, so I'm posting inside of, you can go to resources right now, and you can see the tutorial. Copy that, delete that, paste that. There we go. So this is signing up with Slack, Coursera, Free Code Camp, and Glitch. Coursera, I haven't mentioned, but that's where a lot of our learning how to learn videos come from. You have to sign up with Coursera, and then you have to sign up for that course. And it's all free. Everything here, we're all using free online resources. But do
Just become a robot?
Yes. So do look at that stuff. Check it out. That'll get you going. And then when
Rephrase what you just logged out for like a solid 10 seconds.
Oh, okay. Oh, my robot voice. Okay. So I uploaded a video into the resources channel. You'll want to watch that. That's your first mission this morning, is to go into the resources channel and watch this video. Get signed up with everything. And then you'll want to post your free code camp portfolio inside here, inside this portfolios page. That should get you started. Again, follow along with resources. I'm going to post the video that I just am making right now inside of this thing called placeholder, and we'll get you going. If you have any questions, reach out to me, Mike Zetlow. And oops, a lot of people are joining the meeting right now, and we're shutting it down. That's okay. I'm going to post this video inside of the resources channel. So thank you all for joining me on this adventure. This will be a lot of fun. And yeah, I'll see you in Slack.